One of the EU single market's cornerstones is the free movement of people and goods, but some governments are seeking stricter border controls even within the European Union. The EU allows for this in certain cases. Hundreds of thousands of football fans travel to Germany for the Euro 2024 Football Championship. Ahead of and during the tournament, random checks were carried out at the borders to ensure security. Germany is now once again debating whether it would have made sense to extend these temporary controls at the borders with the other EU countries. EU law generally prohibits identity checks within the Schengen area, permitting temporary controls only in a few restricted circumstances. The Schengen area includes all EU member states, except Ireland and Cyprus, as well as non-EU countries Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Norway, and Iceland. The Schengen Treaty was named after a village in Luxembourg, where the first agreement to abolish border controls were signed by 5 EU states in 1985. One of the crown jewels of European integration, the EU single market pledges free movement of goods and services, capital, and people within the bloc. Traveling across borders without controls is one of the cornerstones of the European integration process. Earlier this year, European Commission Vice President for promoting our European way of life, Margrethe Schenas, said that Schengen remains one of the crown jewels of European integration. The benefits of the borderless Schengen area are enjoyed by 420 million EU citizens and about 500 million annual travelers to the bloc from non-EU states. Before the EU member states abolished internal border controls in the 1990s, efficient control of the bloc's external borders was agreed to in accordance with common criteria. The benefits of the borderless area, which we have had already. But many EU interior ministers find the external borders inadequate. There have been more and more complaints about what perceived as a lack of protection for the European Union's external borders, particularly since 2015, when major movements of migrants from the Middle East into the EU via Greece and Italy intensified. In October 2023, Austrian Interior Minister Gerhard Kammer said that Schengen had never been as broken as it is now. He thinks it is too easy for the people without passports or visas to enter the EU. Tightening of borders since 2015, transit countries and countries along the Balkan route that some migrants used to reach the EU have started to reintroduce checks at the borders. There have been controls on the border between Austria and Germany since 2015. France also tightened controls after devastating terrorist attacks in 2015 and 2016. In its annual State of Schengen report, the European Union says the checks at numerous internal EU borders are not systemic and do not affect all people wanting to cross. It says visual checks tend to be carried out on some highways and train lines, with some people targeted for further identification or inspection. The checks do not usually cause major delays or traffic jams on the borders. The idea is not to inspect trucks and other goods vehicles, nor commuters, if possible. Some exceptions are allowed. In theory, systemic border controls are only permitted if they are particular dangers or in the event of planned major events such as Olympic Games, G7 summits, or indeed major football tournaments. So that is the way it is. Police use of Schengen information system. In their investigations, police officers often make use of Schengen information system, a governmental database maintained by European Commission. It contains data regarding all arrest warrants across the bloc and can bring up information about an inspected person anywhere in the EU, not only at national borders, as it is available to police everywhere. Politicians on the German right have argued that the Euro 2024 border controls were so efficient that they should be maintained. So it is only time will tell what the EU makes out of some of the EU countries calling for more tighter borders, yes, in the European Union. So we will see how it goes, if they maintain it how it is or if they are going to tighten it the more. It's only time will tell.